it's Sequence there, and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
So, what do you think about having a police officer being a foreigner?
Wow, no.
Before we get into it, let's just check out the clip first. And then you tell me what you think about it.
Okay.
Comrade Chair, Deputy Chair, I always ask this question, that none of our policemen and women in uniform can speak any of the foreign African languages. And the challenge is for us to deal with crime. And you can have all your suspects here. Before they write their statements, they can plan what they are going to say in front of you without you even hearing what they are saying. It might be a culture shock to suggest to this REC that if we are serious about fighting crime in Ward 67, we have no option. But those that are properly documented with proper documents can be recruited to the Johannesburg Metro Police Department.
So, obviously, there was some outrage when this clip dropped.
Crazy.
But what are your thoughts on all of that?
You're confused by, like, okay, I'm hearing what he's saying, like, in terms of, like, you know, like, people can plot and plan and you're not hearing them and things like that. And I think for any intelligence, it is good for you to be able to understand, like, you know, languages of of the people that commit the crime, basically, you're fighting. In terms of now saying that you want to exclusively hire, like, foreigners in roles like that, that is not like a scarce skill, you know, that, because usually you do that in extreme cases where, you know, like locals can't fill those roles, then you get foreigners. But I'm guessing in his case, he wants to sort of defend it with, well, they're not skilled enough because they don't know these languages or they can't understand these languages and therefore they can't. I still feel like that is not grounds for them to outsource like things like JMPD.
This is like one of the main problems that we have with like ANC members, like specifically, like it's the solutions that these people come up with.
Oh, crazy.
It just don't make sense.
And they're not for the people.
They just don't make sense
They
at all.
don't make sense.
They always just think of like the worst thing. They always think of the worst solution to implement instead of simple things. Like right now we're living in a climate where a majority of the youth is unemployed.
Yes.
How's your first thought to think I need to hire foreigners when the majority of the youth that you're running are unemployed? How is that your first
crazy thought? And it's not like it's just one foreigner in the whole JMPD. They'll have to have one in almost every stop. That's a huge, that's crazy.
So,
are you kidding me?
So
with so many unemployed people.
This is the problem with like ANC people specifically. The solutions that they come up to problems is the worst solution you can think of. If there's a problem, think about the worst solution for that problem. And an ANC person will think of that. Think of that. And then now, with the high unemployment rate, you have that issue of, okay, we already, these people are so out of touch, they are not reading the room.
They're not reading the
room. We already have a society that's very disgruntled with the fact that foreigners are coming in and taking people's jobs, local people's jobs. People can't even get hired at restaurants.
But they think that's all bogus. That's their problem. Like, they think that people are just saying things.
People can't even go work at a construction company or go work in construction because foreigners are undercutting them.
Zimbabweans are there.
Foreigners are willing to work for less than what South Africans. So now you want to introduce like government roles now. Government roles to foreigners.
Where that was the last hope maybe for many people.
And then now you wanna give foreigners the authority.
Like what?
The authority to enforce law on South Africans. That's a very bad idea.
What?
That is a very bad idea, considering the climate that we're in right now.
Yes.
So he's thinking about
and the already existing hostility.
So he's thinking about, okay, what happens now when we arrest a foreign national? They can't speak English, they can't speak any of the local languages, and now we need to get a statement from them. We need to speak to them in one way. He's thinking from that point. What about the reverse? What if now there's a JNPD officer that arrests a South African, and that JNPD officer cannot speak a local language? Maybe that South African cannot speak English. What's going to happen then? Let's say that South African can only speak Tonga.
Yeah.
And now this foreign national can only speak English and
Which
French.
is the same thing, like, because then they should expect them that they must learn all South African languages.
So you see. So either way, you're going to have to upskill these people.
Yeah.
So why don't you just hire South Africans?
Upskill the existing South Africans.
And upskill.
Absolutely.
It's like, you see these problems that they think of. You see these
Creating more problems.
They just create problems. And like you said, there's clearly an agenda here, because if the first thing you think of is to hire foreigners in a situation
an agenda,
where
my dear.
there are much better solutions.
No.
Clearly there's something that you're doing. And
it's just getting way too obvious, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, there's no way you believe this is the real solution, right? Unless you're really trying to sensitize to this agenda of yours. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they're so out of touch because they're so deep in whatever they are, or deep in. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they are in these, I don't know, contracts, let me say, that they are in. That it's like, that's why they're so out of touch. Because they're forced to now pay their end of the contract. You understand what I'm saying? And now it's like, a lot of it has to just force things on us. And now it's hard when you're lying to convince people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know your real agenda. You know what you're really about. But now you have to find ways to make it make sense to other people. Because there's no way to make sense of what he's saying. With all that's going on and our high unemployment, how are you thinking this isn't a solution for anything?
So now I'm just trying to think of a situation where you as a South African, you're driving down the road.
Don't even give me the scenarios, because they are
driving
crazy.
down the road and there's a roadblock in front of you. You get pulled over.
Hey.
And in Niger, there's a Niger. Nigerian national.
I'm telling you.
There's a Nigerian national who pulls you over. And he wants to just check if everything is good. He checks if you've got your license, checks if your disc is up to date.
Yeah.
Something's wrong there. Something's wrong. Now you gotta speak to him. So you see, there's gonna be that issue of like, if you hire foreign nationals.
My friend, I can't hear what you say.
If you hire foreign nationals, there's gonna be not understanding the locals, because the JNPD has this thing where
like, how do we expect Nigerian to understand Zulu, Xhosa, all of that? Even in all the time that they've been here, they still can't speak the languages, even ones that have stayed here for long. So what, are they gonna miraculously just know in a couple of months?
I'm also talking about like social dynamics.
Yes. No, I get
most
that.
of JNPD you can speak to them and help them understand what you know.
This is my situation.
Yeah. I'm gonna sort this out month end. I'm just waiting for money, and I'll go sort it out. Well, the Nigerian, it's going to be very difficult to speak that.
If he doesn't feel you, he's not feeling. Yeah.
How can you not have me? How can you not have money now? You must always have money, but you might always have like problems like that.
I don't care what. You always be patriotic to who you are and where you come from. They will always be Nigerian first before they can be South African or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And these things, we see them, they show, So it's like, and I wouldn't blame them, because I'd also be like that. Anywhere I go, I'm South African first. It doesn't matter what country that is, but there's that thing inside of me that says I'm South African first. So I'll have that, either put South Africans first. Think about how many foreigners will get away with things now because of, like, an official is there. We already have a problem with officials being bribed, with police officers and stuff being bribed. If they can commit crimes and be criminals where they are not in official government things, how much more when they're in there? How much more inside? Because we know there's a lot of drug dealers who also have official papers. Those they can who have official papers, but they are drug dealers. So how much more? Yeah, you might not know that I'm a drug dealer, right? You've got papers. You hire me. Am I not gonna help my charges? Am I not gonna help my friend?
Again, it's gonna increase. It's most likely gonna increase the amount of corruption. Corruption.
And now this is a free pass.
So
this is a free pass.
All in all, this is just a terrible idea.
How many human trafficking syndicates now gonna have a man in the inside?
Inside the police.
They don't even need to convince South Africans now anymore. South African cops, they've got their own inside.
So there's that issue as well. Like you can be introducing more corruption within the police force itself.
Yes.
So.
And this is what they won't get. They'll probably be like, oh, it's not like South Africans are also corrupt. We get that. But leave us to deal with our domestic issues or our internal issues. We're dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to add on more problems to our already existing problems. Once we are in a safe place and we know that we can trust our officials, they go through vigorous training. I don't know.
That's another thing. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, just imagine, which Nigerian would be happy with a JNPD salary?
Oh, of course not.
Which Nigerian would be happy with JNPD salary? So obviously,
it's a front.
If you hire a Nigerian into JNPD, they're obviously gonna make deals.
On the side
with the actual criminals to make more money. So all in all, this is a very terrible idea. I don't even know how you even come up with this, or this being one of your first recommendations. I don't even know how you do that, but you always surprise us.
I feel like you guys just really put your people last.
These old ass ANC
in the
people,
great
they can't think. Yeah, but just for context, this is the new mayor of Johannesburg. He was just recently
what
place.
Can we expect from this man?
You've seen enough. You've already seen
Thank you.
Let's try another
Next.
one. Well, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is a terrible solution.
What?
And this is the brain that you're gonna be using to try to solve the issues of Johannesburg and the city. We've seen enough. We're gonna need somebody better than this, because you're gonna bring us nothing but problems at the end of the day. Either way, terrible decision making, terrible solutions all together. Like, we just need a new mayor at this point. I know he's just fresh on the job, but he's not good.
And there's so many mayors in Johannesburg, like being chopped and changed. Like, I don't know, we're just not finding the right person, for
but
the
either way,
job.
you guys let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like, subscribe,
and keep watching. Goodbye.
check you guys in the next one.